System alias has been created. Let's active a couple of services from gateway system or else ECC system. Let's go to the transaction called /n/iwfn nd/maint_service. So here, if you notice, let's go. We have already installed one HR add-on in gateway. So I'm just trying to look for example, let's pick the Z timesheet where it doesn't have any system alias maintained. So click on the add system alias, click on new entries, choose the service document identifier, which is Z timesheet underscore service underscore 201. This is the one. And choose the system alias we just created, just this, as a default system, and hit enter. So if you notice, the technical service name and external service name has been came by default. So this is really important for any application to work. We need to have the system alias been identified to make sure that its OData is activated as well. So just save it and go back and see the system alias has been added. So, and also make sure your OData has been activated as well. So as the next step, we need to make sure our Fiori Launchpad to work properly. All the services are activated. So the first step would be going to the same transaction code /n/iwfnd main services. In that transaction, you will notice all the services in gateway. And if your system is a central hub system, and if you want to activate any services from the ECC box, so all you need to do is click on add service, choose the RFC, as it is a gateway here in our case, and which is an embedded systems. So I don't have backend RFC. This is a local RFC. If you're having ECC system as a separate box, then you have to choose ECC, which is a trusted RFC here, and then click on OK, and click on the get services. So all these services will be fetched from your ECC box. As in our case, it is just showing all the gateway services related to it. So if you want to active any of the service, so you can just click on it, and it will say with a Z name, and then once the service has been activated, so it will be added in your Z services list. So for example, just I'm showing as an SRM_purchase order. So click on that and make sure you select the package assignment as a local object, or if you create a package and then you want to transport to further environments in your landscape, then you can also create a package and then do it. But in case if you don't need that, and if you want to do this as a manual step in each environment, you can just choose local object and just click on tick mark. So the service SRM_purchase order was created, and its metadata was loaded successfully. So there are a bunch of as you see, the service is no longer here. So once you go back, the service SRM purchase order Z service purchase order has been showing in the service catalog. Let's check it out where it is. It's over here. Okay, so the system alias has been created as well, and the OData is also set as an active. So this is just to make sure few add-ons to be active, and but as a prerequisite step for this, to make sure our Fiori Launchpad is properly working or not, and the catalog has been loaded and the groups has been loaded. So in order to achieve that task, we need to activate bunch of services here. So I'll show you, as I've already activated it. I'll just not able to do it redo it again, but I'll show you what are those and what are the services which needs to be set as an active. So as the first thing, like Z interop, which is a gateway service of interoperability. This is number one, and launchpad. This is a launchpad data provider, and page builder configuration level, page builder cust, which is a customizing level, page builder pers, which is a personalization level, and other version, page builder service v01, and also the process gateway pgw. So these are all, and also there's one more z quick view for quick view service. So those are the services which are required to set as active, and once these are activated, so please make sure in an SICF transaction code those are all set as an activated SAP OD time SAP So if you notice here, all these services are once the services are added, all these services are active here, and this is important for all the Fiori catalogs to be loaded, and the initial screen to show up as the first thing. If you don't do these steps, you will see an error message saying unable to load catalogs. So and also you will not see the screen, which is like the login screen of the Fiori Launchpad. And once those steps are done, and as a very first for the Fiori login pad to be Fiori Launchpad to be open, so let's make active usual service and set some configuration for it. So go to transaction code SICF and hit the service name as usual, and if it is not active, make sure it is active. Right now I have already deactivated it, so double click on it and go to the error pages tab, and here if you notice there is a system logon, so click on the configuration tab and choose define server specific settings. So what it does is, the purpose of doing this is in the Fiori Launchpad, the Fiori login screen, whatever it is loading initially, if you don't set up this in a ABAP class, it will just throw you a normal window without any Fiori branding stuff. So it is important for us to show the login screen with the Fiori branding. So check define server specific settings, and here our client is 800, so let's set it up as an 800. Select this custom implementation radio button and mention the ABAP class as /UI2/CL_SRA_login. So once that is done, you can save that in a transport request, and you can also move to release that transport request and make sure it is captured in further environments as well. So this is important step for usual service to get active. So once you're done with the usual service, so let's go to the log off service. So choose this path, SAP public BCICF log off. Go to error pages tab and click on the sub tab as log off page, and specify the redirection URL to SAP BC UI5 UI5 UI2 U shells ABAP Fiori Launchpad.html. So what it does is, once the Fiori login has been entered with your credentials, and if you do some changes after that, if you want to log out, it is redirected to this URL, and this is SAP standard Fiori Launchpad URL. So it brings back to your Fiori login screen. So I'll show you in detail. So before showing that, I just want to make sure all these services are active with the parameters specified. So just please make a note that we have activated usual service, we have activated log off service, we have specified the parameters for usual and as well as the log off. So this log of redirection could be anything. It could be your internal corporate intra URL, or else like or Fiori Launchpad URL itself. So it's totally up to your business requirement what the URL should be redirect to. So please make sure if there is no specification on the redirection URL, so just mention this path, so that the Fiori, once you log out from Fiori, it will bring back the login screen again. So once the two services has been activated, let's log into the Fiori Launchpad. So the path would be HTTPS, and this is our host name which has been set, and the HTTPS port is 8443. So the path is SAP BC/UI5. So please make a note that the path for SAP Fiori Launchpad is SAP BC, UI5, UI2, U shell, shells, ABAP, and Fiori Launchpad.html. If you notice, we just activated U shell service with an ABAP class, and the reason for activating this service with an ABAP class specified is the login page with its Fiori, SAP Fiori standard branding stuff. So when you hit this in URL, just continue to this website. The reason being the certificate is not trusted, so that is okay, as it is a sandbox systems. So this is a screen where you will see the Fiori Launchpad for the login screen. So if the usual service is not active, you will not be able to see the screen, and there is an ABAP specified class, right? So that specific settings is required to get this standard branding. So once you this is initial step of success of Fiori Launchpad, and once you see the screen with with a flower background and all that and the login, so you're almost good to go. So log in with your user. In our case, it is a Fiori user. Click on log on. So here it is. We can see all the bunch of tiles related to ESS application. So you're seeing all these tiles because of we have applied Fiori front-end add-on and as well as a back-end add-on. So I'll show you in my next session how to check which are the add-ons required in for each application or each scenario. And as I mentioned, for the log of redirection URL, right, for the service. So once you click on log out from here, it is redirected to the same login screen. So this is the purpose of setting this logon redirect URL here. So anything which is if it is your corporate URL, you can also set that in log of service. So it's totally up to the business requirement how and what should be specified. Okay, thank you very much, guys, and I hope you had a great time.